Hi, I'm Raj.
And I am Yosef.
And we are Youth Health Navigators!
Our role is to help our friends and families by empowering them to find and access health resources and services in our communities.
Today we are here to talk about food security and health navigation.
Before we do that, we need to know what food security is.
Have ongoing access to safe, nutritious, culturally appropriate, affordable, and locally sustainably produced food. So that means we want people to have ongoing access, not just one time, but that it's always available to them. Food that is cooked and produced in a safe way, that's going to be safe for you to consume, that's nutritious, that actually gives you the energy and the nutrients that you need, that's affordable, that you can actually purchase it and not have to make sacrifices in your quality of life, and that it is produced sort of locally or sustainably if that's important to you, and also that it's culturally appropriate, so that if you follow kosher or halal or vegetarian, that you actually have access to food that follows those beliefs for you.
So now that you know about food security, you also need to know how to help others access health services and health resources as health navigators.
Which is very easy. You do this in 3 steps. You identify, you sensitize, and connect.
Identify means learning about the health services and challenges in your community.
Sensitize means being sensitive to an individual's needs and feelings. Not everyone sees the world the same way, so it's important to talk to others openly and with understanding.
And connect means you connect people to relevant health services.
We've talked to people working in the area of food security for their thoughts, and here's what they have to say.
In terms of challenging food insecurity, how we build community in our relationships with each other is the most important thing.
I think in a lot of cases, language barriers become a challenge for newcomers to Canada. That so many of the services that, Canada is really great. Like, we look after people here, but the services, a large number of them are set up in one language or 2 languages. We're not at a point where we're able to provide services, because some of the times these are small charities, they're small organizations, they don't have the ability to provide languages and multiple services. That's where you can help out. You can help bridge that divide by communicating. If you speak multiple languages, you can help ensure that different communities have access to the information and the services that they need. You can also help that organization develop, materials and communications in multiple languages.
The first thing that's really important is to listen and to let other people share their own experience with food, because it's a good way to engage them in the conversation. And another important thing is to make sure that you share what you know, but in a way that isn't judging of them and that's open to what they have to share. To use the language that they use and not to label things so quickly. So if someone is talking about maybe not having access to food because of their income level, to not say, oh, well, that's because you live in poverty, or to give them a label, but to let them figure it out on their own, and you kind of just facilitate that conversation based on the things that you have learned from others.
A lot of families, when they come here and use the Stops Food Bank, they say that they've actually gone hungry for a period of time because they felt too embarrassed to use our food bank. Because there's a lot of stigma for families in admitting that you can't feed yourselves, or that you're having a hard time making ends meet. So I think one of the most important things that we can do is be breaking down the feelings of being ashamed and the stigma that comes with being poor here in Toronto, and helping educate other youth and our families and our neighborhoods that poverty is actually a structural problem here in the city that a lot of us face at some point in our lives, and it's not because of anything we're doing wrong or our families are doing wrong. A better way is to create programs where we get to grow our food and cook our food and eat our food together, so that we're all part of the solution, but we're also all recipients of that common good.
A good first step is to familiarize yourself with services that already exist, so that you can be able to connect people with those services. just look around your community and see a lot of places of worship or community centers have some really great programming around food.
One of the keys to making social change in the long term is to make it fun. The more creative and more arts you can bring into your work, I think the better. One cool idea about how we can help our families and our classmates and our neighbors know about what's out there in our neighborhood when it comes to healthy food is to do a community map. You can do maps with video, you can do maps with drawing, you can even do maps with like a play or a walking group, and it's where you go in the neighborhood and you find out where everything is that has to do with food. So food banks, corner stores, grocery stores, community garden. We have a cool project here called the Global Roots Garden, which is where older people, like our grandparents, get together with younger people and grow the foods that we grew in our countries of origin. So projects like that connect people around food, and then you map it out so that everybody in the neighborhood starts to learn about what resources out there and they know how to get there on their own.
So as newcomer youth in the community, I think a special role that you play is that you're able to bridge sort of the community that you come from with the new community that you've entered. As youth, we're really good at is using social media. So being able to use Facebook and videos and photos and being able to document food security in that way is such an important tool, because it also is such a great thing to have that documentation, but then to share it with other youth that you know, even with your grandparents, with people in your community from all over, and to be able to actually start to talk about food security and how we can improve it.
I just encourage you to get out there and learn how to become a really good listener, and listen to the community leaders in your neighborhood, and listen to your classmates, and listen to your families, and build those relationships where people trust you to be someone that values their opinion and will work with them to make change in the neighborhood.
Don't be afraid to get involved and to get engaged with the issue. Actions can be big or small, and all of them are progress. So good luck.